Okay, so we're back for the second movie officially of the summer. Well, since we got off school anyway.
Yep.
So, Raj is with me today, and we're here to talk about Fast and Furious 6, because they made 6 of these goddamn things.
They did. They're planning a 7th one as well.
I'm not surprised based on the ending, but we'll get to that. It was okay. I enjoyed it enough.
I'm a big fan of the series, so obviously I really liked this movie.
It's worth noting before we really get into it is that Raj is a big car enthusiast, and I am not.
You can tell by my Shelby shirt here.
Don't encourage that show.
No, Shelby's a guy. Carol Shelby.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like a Big Bang Theory reference.
Nope.
Oh, thank God. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway. No, that's fear is alleviated. It's like, yeah, it was okay. There was a lot of parts I had a lot of fun with, but I'm not gonna say it's a masterpiece or anything like that.
Right.
Because I mean, like the action scenes, without a doubt, are great. They're spectacular. I'm not gonna like even pretend to argue that point. But at the same time, the rest of it is really shallow.
Like, it's super over the top, like every Fast and the Furious movie. What I personally liked about it, they actually used real terms when, like, describing the things they were doing, like magnetic ride control, suspension, like hydraulics, like the type of engines they were using. So as a car enthusiast, I'm like, all right, this stuff's actually, they're talking about,
So if you give a shit about cars, this is for you.
It was realism in that sense, but then the shit they did was super crazy, over-the-top action, so...
They make Isaac Newton cry.
Yeah, so... in that sense, you kind of got to go with that a little bit, but overall, it was good. I think it did stuff to please the people who love to see, things blow up in the action, please the car enthusiasts, and obviously there were some races in there as well.
There's some what in there?
Races?
Oh, races.
I mean, it's Fast and the Furious, right?
I thought you said racism. I was like, we're talking about this again on this show? How many times do I have to go over this topic?
But, so, it's a little bit of everything, kind of what you expect in a Fast and Furious movie.
Yeah, I mean, like, there was nothing that I was really expecting. Now, I haven't seen any of these movies, so it's like, I didn't really know anything about the characters. You don't need to.
Right,
Quite frankly, it's like, I managed to catch on pretty quickly. It's not like there's any, like, huge continuity things I really need to know about.
Right, I mean, it was cool, at least for me. I've watched the other movies. In the beginning of the movie, they did, like, a montage to 2 Chainz and Wiz Khalifa of all the other Fast and the Furious movies and all the heists they've pulled off.
Basically, to catch up to speed to people like me who haven't seen any of the fucking movies.
Yeah, so, and then at the end of that, they show the different members of Dom's team kind of relaxing in their different areas of the globe where they scattered, because they can't go back to, like, America because they're wanted criminals. So they're all in their respective areas. They had just got $100 million from the heist in Rio from previous movie, and that's kind of where this movie starts.
Yeah, that's pretty much, that's actually a pretty good summary.
Do you want to...
Well, it's like... I'm trying to think where I really want to start how I want to start talking about this.
Well, I guess it's like...
I guess for starters, I was surprised to see Tyrese Gibson in this. So I guess I really shouldn't be. Again, I didn't know he was in any of the movies. I just know him from Transformers. But I actually met him once, which is
Did you
cool.
really?
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
I met him at Comic-Con a few years ago, which is pretty cool.
Well, I mean, I guess this movie starts out where there's a team of racers, and not Dom's team. This is like a different team of racers, and they stole a Russian military device. I forgot what exactly the device was.
Like it fucking matters.
Right. They stole the device, and what they're trying to do is making like a...
They stole the plot device. That's pretty much what they stole.
They're trying to get all these list of things together to build a bomb, electronic bomb to wipe out the grid for like 24 hours.
Like, it really even focuses on why they want to do this. Or
right. It just says they want to do it.
They want to do it because they're evil.
Right. So they want to do it.
Motivation? What's that? We don't give a fuck. He's evil. Just go with it.
And so...
We got a bunch of cars that do stupid shit that defy the laws of gravity and physics. What else do you fucking want? You want a story? Go to Lincoln or something for that.
I thought that the back of they didn't give a good reason of why.
Gotta roll the windows real quick for this guy next to us.
They didn't give a good reason of why they want to steal. They're like, all right, they're stealing, and that kind of kick-started the story of Hobbs, the main cop guy. He had to go find Dom and be like, I need your help because you're the only guy who can beat this.
And by the way, am I the only one that's kind of wondering how the Interpol, which is in the UK, has no British people in it? I mean, just one of several things that started to kind of crop up. Now, to be fair, we did a fairly decent job of covering its tracks in terms of plot holes that I kept spotting. Like in the first 5 goddamn minutes when they Dwayne Johnson, who plays Hobbs, finds one of the gang members, beats the living shit out of him in the interrogation room. It's like, isn't this illegal? And then 5 seconds, isn't this illegal?
It's like, sure, but are you gonna stop him?
At the same time, at that point, you can't use anything that he just said because anything you could on him would be inadmissible in court. But at the same time, logic, who gives a fuck?
Right, so, so Rock's character, Hobbs, has to call up Dom and be like, yo, we need your team because our team can't keep up with those racer guys. And he's like, and you're gonna beg me to help. And he shows a picture of Letty, who, he thought died in the end of the last one. He's like, oh, I gotta go find her. So he calls up his guys. They all meet, and they go off on this adventure.
Yeah. I got nothing really to add to that. That pretty much sums it up. Then it gets oh, by the way, one other thing kind of bugged me. Not necessarily, but it's the women in this movie are absurdly understanding. To the point of oh, fucking bullshit. For example, apparently in the last movie, he hooked, Vin Diesel hooked up with this hot Brazilian chick, and then as soon as the news his ex somehow surviving, he goes, just go look for her. It's you're taking this really well.
Well, it wasn't his ex. That was his, wife. They never really. She died, quote unquote. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so, still, even then, I think you'd think hey, maybe we should talk about this. No, just go. You're needed. It's he's fucking Spider-Man or something.
I think she
go get him, Tiger.
Yeah, that was a little. Yeah, that was a little.
And the wife, and the other guy's wife, Brian, or whatever the hell his name is, his wife is absurdly understanding too, because he just has a fucking baby, and then he comes out to shortly goes, "This life is over." 10 minutes later, I need you back.
To be fair, she was part of this. So it was I guess what I forgot to explain was it was about this whole code where the bad guy team who was trying to steal this
that wasn't stupid at all.
It was it's a code of precision, and a team is a machine where you can swap out parts to make the best team, where Dom is no, my code is family, and you always stand up for.
This isn't gonna be a cheesy moral action movie.
Yeah, so you gotta stand up for your family thing.
This family thing's been run into the ground
worldwide.
We've seen it a million goddamn times, and fucking Disney's done it 25 times.
So, in the end is the whole of him and his precision code and being, losing out to code of family and sticking.
I'm sorry, this villain is really goddamn silly. I mean, there's not much he could have done with the script he was given, but still, it was still really fucking.
He just plays a heartless criminal who,
for no reason,
who doesn't care about the people that he's around, basically.
No motivation, no real effort. He just shallow villains can go. I'm evil.
That's me.
It's kind of like in Captain America where you had the Red Skull and it's I'm a fucking Nazi, what else do you want? I'm a fucking evil car guy, what else do you need? Alright, I'm gonna punch Vin Diesel in the face, he can punch me back.
And it's really funny because these two teams are kind of mirroring each other, and they actually made fun of it in the movie.
Well, they did make fun of the movie, but they didn't really do anything with that either. They just, I don't think, maybe only 2 of the other henchmen had 8 lines in this movie.
Yeah, and I think it was there just for
look, he's a big tough guy.
Both.
And let's talk about the fucking humor in this, because this is gonna get my nerves. Pretty much the black guys are only in this movie to provide comedic relief. They don't have any real personality outside of that. Look, I'm just one-liner, stop. That's pretty much their entire conversations.
To be fair, the black guy on the good guys team did a lot of the made things happen, got the cars,
Fair enough, but at the same time, doesn't change the fact that pretty much their entire line of dialogue was one-liner, end scene. There was never anything beyond that. Never. I checked. Every conversation they had was all fucking one-liners.
This movie, I think that, it's done on purpose, obviously, to try to get the laughs,
but have a goddamn character out of it, please. You might as well had a Chris Tucker in the background going, what? Damn, Dwayne Johnson, you crazy. Shit like that.
And Dwayne Johnson was badass in this movie.
I mean, I love Dwayne Johnson. He's really earned my faith this year. But I've seen 4 fucking movies?
Yeah.
I mean, he can act. He can act when he wants to.
Definitely.
Some of the lines he had in this movie were really fucking stupid, too.
I never thought
let's get this son bitch. It was an actual goddamn line.
Yeah, and I never thought that Vin Diesel would look small.
I think I talked about this before the movie started. You ever see the picture we seen Dwayne Johnson a few years ago and Dwayne Johnson now? It's just only Dwayne Johnson can make Dwayne Johnson look like a fucking pussy.
So And like, you know, they have the other strong dude on both teams, where it's like Dwayne is a strong guy on the
And
big
you
guy.
knew the only reason they cast him, because I don't think he even had any lines, was to fight Dwayne Johnson. And yeah, I knew it was coming.
I don't think he had any lines at all.
No, I think he was like, like once. But that
If you
was
want to
about-
count that, all right. But I
I'd
mean,
love to see that in the script. Just reading the script going, and then the big man growls. I feel this. This is me.
but I mean, you know, this movie was, you know, to be honest, I don't think anyone really came to watch
It's a dumb jackass action movie. You know what it is going
You
into
go in
it.
to watch the cars, the girls, the action.
And granted, honest enough, I don't think they did enough of it.
What, really?
No, it's like, I think it tried to take itself seriously a little too often. Like,
I didn't think they took this movie. I mean, they took it a little bit seriously, but I didn't think it was too serious.
no, see, I'm
all.
comparing this with the A-Team, because the A-Team at the very beginning just does not give a flying fuck what you think.
I didn't watch the A-Team.
Like, it's if you think this is a dumb jackass action movie, that one actually has a flying tank. So
This one has a tank too.
it does have a tank, and that scene is awesome.
The tank. This.
But it had the whole plot, like subplot line with Michelle Rodriguez's character, and it's like I kind of tried to play that up with a whole family element, and
Yeah.
I could never really take it seriously because I didn't really care or like any of the characters. I'm not gonna say I hate them, but I just like they were nothing to me. Like
Right.
they're just shallow characters and driving shallow cars, crashing into shallow things. There is no meat to them, so therefore I didn't really care about any of the emotional drama that was going on with them.
Right.
Although the movies seem to want you to care. Maybe if I watch more of the series, I would care more. Although I kind of
Right.
doubt it personally.
Well, I mean, if you watch them from the beginning, there is an overall storyline of these guys and kind of like their life is starting from like, you know, like
I'm
there's
sure
a
there
little
is, but
explanation, but it's kind of characters that you want to like, not just like, not because they're well developed and things, but you just want to like them, you know?
see, yeah, but wanting to like him doesn't make him likable. It just means like I want to like him because I watched him for 6 goddamn movies. So I probably should like these characters, even though I'm really only watching this for the action in the cars.
But I do agree that they could have had a little bit more actual car racing in the movie. I think that I counted only 2 main car races if you don't count the little
Well, it's like
beginning.
problem is like there are
part.
surprisingly large gaps in between action sequences in a movie
Right.
that's so dependent on making sure you get so adrenaline pumped that you can overlook the many flaws in this movie.
Right, yeah.
It's kind of makes it more obvious when there is that lull in action. And of course, it makes my mind go and start making all the loopholes, like the plot elements they missed on. Like, for example, there's a part 2/3, I think, halfway through the movie, where Michelle Rodriguez, who has amnesia, which that pissed me off. That is such a convenient, overly used excuse in movies and television. It is such an lazy writing attempt to say, we couldn't think of anything, so she has amnesia. Boom. Anyway, so Vin Diesel goes into a car race in London, which, yeah, I think it's a bad idea. And that kind of bugged me too. It's like, okay, so how do they know where they're supposed to go? B, how do they think they can get away with this very long? And B and C, if there's only supposed to be a big racing event, how come there's only 2 cars driving?
Well, to be fair, they probably scattered out the route beforehand because they don't want to, go to any areas.
I can only assume that was the case, but they did get tracked by the cops.
Yeah, but they got away. I mean,
But
like,
they still got tracked by the cops.
Well, I meant trapped. Sorry, did I say trapped? I meant they don't want to get trapped. Like cul-de-sacs, things like that. So obviously they at least a little scouting, I assume.
I mean, this is kind of nitpicky because you don't expect
Right.
the movie to go into much detail about that
Right.
kind of shit.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that's a few questions I was asking myself watching it. But that's not what I want to talk about.
Okay.
What I want to talk about is what I came afterwards, because all of a sudden they decided to stop racing for some reason, and they decided to go into like this little abandoned parking lot area.
I think the race was over. They had to cross that one thing.
Oh, is that what it is?
I think that was it.
Okay, well, anyway. So they go to this quiet little area, and they start having their talk about, like, I remember this about you, and remember this about you, remember this
She's
about
like,
you. It's like, okay, sure, why not? I'm suddenly attached to you now. I'm going to drive away now. And then, like, the big bad guy comes in, and they have their own little confrontation, and they have, like, the fucking... It's like, well, I guess is my code's about precision. My team's
Right.
My
code's about family.
They're expendable to me.
Yeah,
And
right.
then all that whole nonsense. And then it goes, mine's about family, and you have that stupid moral argument crap.
And then he's like,
and then of course, like, well, I guess at the end, it's like, has the little sniper with the laser pointer. I'm like, well, I got mine too. Dwayne Johnson's pointing a sniper, and it's like, okay, here's my thing. If there's only one sniper for each, why doesn't Dwayne Johnson just shoot the sniper and then shoot him?
Well, he probably can't see the sniper, I'm assuming.
He knows where the laser point is. He can make a rough guess and track him down.
True.
It's fucking Dwayne Johnson. He's supposed to be a highly trained, Interpol operative who's American for some reason.
No, he's something else. He's...
Or CIA, whatever the hell it is.
Yeah, they're working with Interpol, but...
Whatever the
on
case.
his vest,
Whatever the case may be, he's highly trained. He can find the goddamn sniper. And to come think of, why doesn't the other sniper do that too?
Well,
if there was like 5 of them,
right?
Yeah, I would go with that. Like, that's probably not a safe bet, but there's only one. You can find him.
And that's where they did the whole thing. Like, this and now, if you don't leave, whatever, I'm gonna mess with your family. And he goes,
yeah,
mess with the guy's family.
Your wife is dead, your family is dead, all that shit.
Like, you better walk away right now.
Tries to go Al Capone.
Yeah, Dom's like, no, I walk away when she walks away.
And then guess what? One of the women gets kidnapped, and which leads to another kind of bullshit scene. So yeah, and then happens shortly after that is the tank scene, which admittedly the action scenes when they're done well are fucking awesome. The cinematography is surprisingly good.
Yeah.
The camera is steady, which I love, even though I couldn't count a scene that lasted longer than a shot that lasted longer than 5 seconds. Because I played a game with myself during the action. I started counting how long the scenes were going. Like 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4. I can never get to 5.
I think that was a good choice though, because if they did a bunch of long cuts in this movie, it would slow the pace down.
Sure,
a lot.
But at least get 1 in there.
They did. I think there was 1 shot in the helicopter. They're just kind of like following, and it goes around.
But that's like after the action scene. Oh, and by the way, speaking of which, have the Vin Diesel, Michelle Rodriguez talking scene. It's got on my nerves a little bit. Is like it kept doing a camera pan. Like a panning shot. So every time, like, say I was talking to you, for example, and all of a sudden the camera just did this. And then I went back like this. Then we go over here. Then we go for this angle.
I think this is the first use of motion in the reviews.
No, we had that Poppy Hill review I had to do by hand.
Okay.
So not entirely, but that's how it's a nitpicky argument. Did I accidentally zoom in?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oops.
There you go.
Okay, we're good. But again, that's a nitpicky thing. It's not a big deal, but it's like, oh my god, stop with the panning camera.
I don't know. So, have you ever watched NCIS?
No.
Okay, so that's a show that I really like to watch on TV, and it's a show where there's very little still camera. The camera's always panning or tracking. Yeah,
but it's kind of distracting, isn't it? Like,
personally, I'm a really big fan of camera movement. I don't know, that's just me.
That's fair enough.
But so it didn't bother me as much. But if you weren't a fan of it, I can see how that would grab your attention really fast.
I mean, again, I probably wouldn't have noticed it if they didn't use it for every single shot. There was no still stop between them. It was always just panning shots.
Panning, tracking, zoom.
Yeah, whatever you call it.
Right.
It wasn't a big deal, but after a while. Especially since I didn't really care enough about the characters to really care about what was going on.
You're just like, action movie, yes.
Exactly. It's like, can we just go to the fucking tank scene? Yes.
I don't know, there were a couple of scenes that did bother me, though.
They never did explain why there was a goddamn tank in there. It's a fucking tank.
Well, they were transporting this chip, and the chip was in the tank? That's what I got.
Because that makes sense. Let's put this inside a tank. No one would ever get in there. But sir.
But they did. No, but there were a couple things that bothered me in the movie. Like, there was one scene in the beginning where Dom's team was chasing the evil guy in his little steel tube F1 car with the, and the guy shoots these little cannon things out the back, these little chip things that stick to
the that needlessly complicated contraption.
I was like, no, that's the one thing that probably bothered me the most about this movie, because the chip got stuck on the hood of this car, and from that chip's just stuck on the hood, they can control parts of the car.
Okay,
I can control the brakes and shit. I'm like, no, that does not happen.
See, that was about you, by the way. My thought was more like, okay, that is needlessly complicated. If your aim is that good, why don't you use a fucking grenade launcher?
Right, yeah.
Because those chips cost a lot more money than a fucking grenade launcher. I can guarantee that.
Right. So I was just like, I mean, I know this movie's over, supposed to be over the top a little bit, but that's a little stretching it too far. At least for me as a car guy, I was like, eh.
Me as a person with logic, I would think like there are far simpler ways to accomplish that same goal.
That's true.
So that's my thoughts. Like, just use a grenade launcher. An RPG, a grenade launcher is easy. It has like six little grenades in the cannon. You have 6 cars there. Boom, boom, boom. You're done.
There are only 3, so you got 2 shots for each car.
Exactly. So it was like you have pretty good aim. Just use a fucking grenade launcher. Problem solved. And
yeah, there you go.
Just fucking kill them when you have the chance. Don't talk to them.
Right. The other thing, the cars in this movie. There was some good variety of cars. There were, the imports as usual, the muscle cars. Then there were also these like old school cars that they needed because of the chip gun. That's the excuse, because they're like, we need a car without an ECU that they can't be overridden. It's like, well, doesn't really happen in real life anyways, but we're gonna go with it.
Yeah, so here's this comedic scene with Dwayne Johnson, one of the black people that's not Tyrese Gibson.
Yeah, and you know, they're basically making fun of him, saying you don't look like a guy that can afford these cars.
Oh, that fucking pompous asshole. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I hate these stereotypes in movies where they go, oh, you're not supposed to be here. You're commoners.
You're a cook. The cook's entrance is over there.
Like, you'll just leave now. And it's like, you black... Oh, I'm sorry. I mean commoners.
Yeah.
Can't be seen inside our establishment, but we'll finish up and pain. And then, of course, you have that scene where they, yeah, we'll take that. And then they try to show them up, basically.
And
it's annoying.
What the guy didn't know that they were actually the one of the dude was the millionaire because he got $100 million from Rio, and
I'm sorry, $100 million cannot buy that many cars.
probably can. Those cars don't cost.
You wouldn't have much left. Let me put it that way.
I mean, those cost at most a couple $100,000. You know, I mean, you wouldn't even get over
Okay,
$1 million,
well,
so.
they look more expensive to me, but yeah,
Right, nah,
you know
cars
more
are-
about cars than I do,
Yeah,
so I'm
so-
gonna take your authority on that one.
Even like supercars get $1 million is probably like $1-2 million at most for like the most expensive car.
Okay, fair enough.
So they bought 4 cars, so that's like 10 million at most if we were exaggerating it, and yeah, they basically the guy's like, oh, I guess you do have money, and we'll take your shirt and your pants.
Because you would follow that rule. It's like, no, the payment's final.
Yeah, exactly,
I'm leaving.
right? We have an agreement. But no, they took us. I mean, so that was a little.
That was stupid. I'm sorry, I have no mercy for scenes like that.
Yeah,
There's no silver lining. They're like, no, that was stupid.
And then let's see. After that, they use these cars to race
with fucking grappling guns.
Yeah. Oh
or,
yeah.
Grappling hooks, whatever. With stupid one-liners, and they had that whole subplot with the Asian guy and his model girlfriend who had like maybe 5 lines in the movie, and you're supposed to.
Han, yes.
Yeah, and you're supposed to care that she dies at the end.
I cared.
I didn't.
I mean, this kind of relationship was a little carryover thing from previous movies. So.
I gathered that much, but the fact is, I didn't really care about her.
The whole audience was like, well, not the whole audience, probably half the audience, half the people that actually have seen the previous movies were like,
Again,
you could hear just the breath, everyone.
Our
breathing at the
audience
same
got
time.
absurdly into this movie.
Our audience is really into, and I feel like the fans of this series do really get into it.
I'm sure, because if you like the other movies, I mean, there's no reason why you wouldn't like this one.
Right,
but
at one point the whole audience broke into
one point there was like 5 times in it. It got kind of annoying after that. It's like, you don't have to applaud everything. Settle down.
I mean, it's over.
I mean, granted, the first time it was granted because it was a fucking awesome shot with the whole after the tank things and they catch them in midair. I was like, okay, that was pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
Completely implausible, but pretty fucking cool. I'll accept that applause.
The
But
first time I watched this movie, because this is the second time I'm watching. The first time I watched that movie, that scene bothered me. I was like, all right. I mean,
it's like we've already had a tank somehow going faster than most cars on the freeway. So I'm already kind of suspending my belief here.
this time when I watched it, actually, I was like, all right, I'll go with it.
So I went along fine with that because that's kind of what I wanted. I just kind of wanted stupid jackass action scenes like that. Unfortunately, there weren't enough of them.
There could have been more, more racing. More. I mean, that's what this whole series was kind of started on, was street racing. Felt like it could have been a little more.
Well, it's like, I just want good action scenes. I mean, like, it's like, movie, you know your characters are shallow. I know your characters are shallow. Please stop trying to fool me that they're not, and just give me what I fucking want.
So, if you guys don't know, this movie is not the last in, the only that came out.
we got a teaser that basically sets up this plot for the next one, and we'll get to that.
But also, the Tokyo Drift, you gotta take that out and wait and put that at the end, because the movies don't go in order of the release. Fast 5, Fast 6, they're gonna make Fast 7. That goes before Tokyo Drift, but I'm not sure if
how many fucking prequels are there to Tokyo Drift? Pretty much everything.
Tokyo Drift's the last movie.
Pretty much everything after Tokyo Drift is a fucking prequel.
Right. Yep.
Okay.
Exactly. Everything after Tokyo Drift is a prequel to Tokyo Drift. But I don't know if Fast and the Furious 7 is gonna be a remake of Tokyo Drift, because they teased. If you wait till the end of the credits, they tease. They're in Tokyo and Han is racing in his RX-7. A Mercedes crashes into him and flips over, and they throw him the cross necklace, which seems to be a recurring theme in this as well, because
they're religious.
Yeah, well, they did do grace, so yeah, they could be religious, but yeah, so they teased that. So I'm not sure if Fast and Furious 7 is supposed to be a remake of Tokyo Drift, or is like another movie in Tokyo before Tokyo Drift. So
Who gives a
We'll
shit?
find out.
It has Jason Statham versus Vin Diesel. I will fucking be there whether the movie sucks or not.
That's gonna be pretty awesome.
So it's like, just to see that, I will go see that movie. I don't care how bad the reviews are.
Everyone in the theater, when they saw him walk out of that car, were like, "Oh my God, he's in Fast and the Furious."
So it's like, I'm actually surprised neither Dwayne Johnson or Vin Diesel has been in the Expendables movie yet. Like, they probably will be.
Possibly, yeah.
I mean, they're already talking about getting Harrison Ford in there for the next one.
Oh God.
Hey, you laugh. We actually got a bit of a preview for Indiana Jones.
Oh, they're showing the classics.
The very first one. Like, they're playing in the theaters. I'm tempted to drag a few people down for that because that sounds.
All right, so I mean,
cool.
I guess
Anyway,
does that wrap up our conversation? Or do you have any?
I'm trying to think if there's anything else to really say about it because I'm like.
Oh, I guess we didn't talk about the ending.
Oh yeah, because a couple things bug me about that a little bit. Nothing huge. Oh, by the way, Peru is fucking gorgeous. Why would you want to leave?
Wait, Peru?
That's where they start the movie, isn't it? Or Spain.
Spain.
My bad.
Yep.
Either way, like the place where they left, it's fucking gorgeous. Why would you ever want to leave?
Well,
I know it's not.
they had to go find her.
No, I mean, like, they don't go back after the movie is over. I mean, screw that little.
Oh well, their home is America, and then
I would gladly find a new home in Spain.
Not gonna lie, I mean, Spain is a very nice-looking country.
It is gorgeous. Are you kidding? It's like,
Put it-
in a heartbeat, I would sell my home and move to Peru if I could afford it. Either way, yeah.
Peru's nice too.
So it's like, either way, I mean, it'll take a while to get used to the cultural differences. I'm sure there's
Right.
McDonald's somewhere. I can live with it.
I think there is, but probably McDonald's.
Yeah, so it's like, I would find a way to deal with it. I don't need 1227 or where the hell it was.
Oh yeah, so it's like, so at the end. Oh well, okay. So let's rewind a little bit. So at the end, they find out that this ship, the guy goes, "Hey, I got your hostage. I got your wife. I'm gonna kill her if you don't hand over the chip." So they let him go.
Oh, on that, real quick.
Yeah.
That was another thing that kind of bugged me a little bit. It's like, after the tank scene, the Sean guy gets captured and they drag him to a military base, and the general there, once he hears about the whole we got your wife thing, he goes, we're not gonna, like,
He goes, "Who gives a shit?"
like, that's kind of what I was thinking, because all I could think of is like no, he's got a point. Because he gives on like, no, we're not going to sacrifice possible millions of lives for one person. It's like, that's not reasonable. It's like, no, it's kind of not.
Dwayne pulls out the gun and goes, "No."
It's like,
Let him
this
go.
doesn't change it. It's like, no, it doesn't. And he goes, yes, it does. He goes, okay then.
So they let him go. They end up jamming the cell phone so he can't call in the hit, and he's going to the airfield where they're on the runway, and
then of course you have the action sequence,
giant plane comes down. They the ramp kind of like lowers. They drive up into the
and they have that whole action sequence, and I got to a point where like both have the grappling hooks. The other people in the car is that
Right.
aren't Vin Diesel and Dwayne Johnson
yeah,
in the plane.
they're trying to hit the flap so it can't take off.
Yeah, but they keep missing, so they end up hitting the wing, and then of course they start flying off. There's a part where like a bad guy car and like with a girl, the Asian guy and his girlfriend,
Han, yeah.
they get stuck. They're still trying to kill each other. It's like,
Yeah.
After a certain point, I think I'd call a temporary truce.
They're like, "No, ride or die."
Like, you know what? Maybe we should deal with this first. There's just a thought.
So so on that one, the guy's about to kill Han, and his girlfriend, like, he's trying to hold on his girlfriend from falling out of the car, and she lets go, pulls out her gun and shoots him, so
And
Han can live.
like that fucking Matrix shot.
And it's slow-mo, and everyone's like, and then goes back to the fighting. They have to jump out of airplanes. They end up getting the airplanes. What do you call the flap thing? And the airplane
of course,
comes
the plane
down.
comes down,
a dude
and the
goes through
car
the
comes
engine.
bursting through the fucking front of the goddamn plane. As if that makes any fucking sense.
Well, when I first saw that, I was like, "That's just stupid." In the movie though, the plane crashes, the whole thing's on fire, and the front end's like broken, and the car kind of like drives through. I'm like, "All right, well."
And it does that shit, that cliche I hate, because you never believe it for a second. When it goes, "Is Vin Diesel dead?
the
Can
whole
he be
plane's
dead?"
on
Everyone's
fire.
like, "Oh, he's dead. He's not fucking dead."
He walks out from the flames and like charred and like
It's
epic
like-
music.
And of course, nobody ever gets a goddamn scratch or broken bone or anything in those movies. I mean, you don't expect.
I do
even after crashing into fucking millions of cars, like everyone at least flips in car at least once.
Yeah, I do want to mention though the fighting and the fight between Michelle Rodriguez and the other.
Oh, the choreography in this
Oh,
movie is fantastic.
It was amazing. Probably one of the most epic girl on girl fights in any
I'm not
movie.
sure I'd go that far, but it was pretty damn good.
It was-
I mean, the fight choreography in this one is goddamn fantastic.
It's amazing. I
love even I kind of cheered a little bit in this part. Was like the part where Dwayne Johnson's fighting the other mountain dude, like the very ending fight is when Vin Diesel like pulls him up, and then Dwayne Johnson does a fucking jump punch.
Everyone's like, yeah.
Even I was kind of like, okay, all right,
Pull one of those wrestling moves out. I was like,
all right, that was pretty fucking cool. It's just a pure testosterone fueled action movie. You know where you're getting stuff going into it. I thought they could have done more with it, quite frankly, but that's just me.
Yeah, I mean, I can't believe I'm saying this as a huge fan of the series, but they could have had more cars, more like racing, and more girls, because it's cars and girls, kind of like this movie, It's kind of like what it's based off of.
This is why we didn't bring any ladies around for this one.
but also it's really funny. I got a chuck out of this because I'm a car enthusiast. I mod my car. I like to work on it in my driveway. So I go to car meets, part of the car community, and I'm like, I had that
Dude,
shot
likes cars.
where they're at this underground car meet where like there's like the DJ and all these girls and like dancing in like bikinis. I'm like, no car meet is ever like this.
Yeah, but then it wouldn't be interesting. Or interesting's the wrong word. Enticing.
Okay, there you go. But I mean, it's a movie. It's fun to watch.
I had fun. I'm not gonna say I didn't. I mean, I enjoyed parts of it. I wish I had more Jackass action scenes. Quite frankly, that's my big thing about it.
For otherwise, me, it was more racing.
Otherwise, if you enjoy the series, there's no reason you won't like this one. If you're like me, you might get some fun out of it, but you're not gonna go home screaming about how awesome it was or anything like that. I'm saving that per Pacific Rim, but
okay, I can see how you would like that movie a lot.
That movie's gonna be fucking awesome.
That's like your version of me for this one.
Pretty much, yeah. It's monsters versus giant goddamn robots. What more could you want? Anyway, I think that's about all I really have to say about the movie, unless you have anything else to add.
No, not really. The ended. They all went home. They all got amnesty, and they teased Tokyo.
And there are no negative repercussions whatsoever.
Yeah, they all got amnesty. It was good, I mean, they did get a little bloodied up. I mean, so they did, but no one got seriously injured in this movie.
Like, I'm sorry, when you hit your back on a windshield and it cracks, your spine is broken. Alright? There is no ow. And then you get back up like nothing happened. Your spine is broken, or this glass covering every part of your spine. It does not work that way. But then again, if you're picking up things like that in a movie, you're gonna be really, really picking at it for a long time.
Right.
So on that note, let's move on to trailers. We got 5 trailers?
We got a bunch of trailers. Yeah.
What was the first one we got? Oh, we got the first one. We really fucking stupid, and that one I'm almost kind of looking forward to because we're gonna have so much to rip about it when it comes out, which is R.I.P.D.
Oh.
Which is the
what did it even stand for? It was like
Rest in Peace Department.
Yeah, Rest in Peace Department.
It's supposed to be like Ryan Reynolds plays a cop who dies.
I was like, okay, the beginning, the first probably 10, 15 seconds of that trailer is The Dark Knight, where they have the guys in the clown makeup.
The rest is Men in Black.
Yeah, so it's the guys in clown makeup robbing a bank.
Oddly enough, both are based on comic books. But anyway, it looks really fucking stupid. It looks like Jeff Bridges doing the True Grit thing, except that he doesn't care this time.
Right.
So,
I mean,
you're like, come on now.
It looks
really
and then
stupid.
It just got worse and worse as the trailer went on.
Really, really stupid.
Yeah.
It looks and feels like a shameless Men in Black ripoff, even though it is based on a comic book. But at least Men in Black 1 is good. At least Men in Black 1 is good. This is like god awful.
Yeah, it was Men in Black meets The Dark Knight, so I'm probably not
much more Men in Black than Dark Knight, but
Dark Knight first 10 seconds.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's plenty of other fucking robberies and movies where they're wearing clown masks. Dark Knight was not the first one to do it, so I think it's kind of unfair to make that comparison.
It just seems so. And they even mentioned the Joker.
Where?
The guy had a line or something. I forgot the exact line, but he actually said the Joker in that trailer.
I don't remember that, but
or maybe I don't know.
Maybe I don't know. I think it's like, wow, this looks really bad.
Yeah.
Wait. What's the name of the girl from Weeds? I know she plays Sarah Michelle Parker.
I have no idea. The girl from Weeds.
She was the one. She was also in Red.
Didn't see either of those.
Okay, never mind then.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a movie.
What was the next?
The next one we got was Denzel Washington and the.
Okay.
And what was Marky Mark?
John Wahlberg. Or
John Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg.
Where the hell you get John Wahlberg?
Mark Wahlberg. I don't know where John came from.
Okay.
Obviously, I'm not thinking.
Okay, it's a movie called Two Guns with Dwayne Johnson and Mark Wahlberg, and it actually doesn't look. It looks okay.
Yeah, I'm personally.
It's kind of an interesting concept.
Yeah,
like somehow two
big...
people who robbed each other are both under cops, which doesn't make any real sense. But
yeah, I'm a pretty big Denzel Washington fan myself, so I'm probably gonna go see this movie whether or not it's gonna be good or bad. Because I like Denzel Washington, and it looks decent. From what the trailer.
I mean, Mark Wahlberg has good comedic timing, so
I have hopes for this movie.
It could be okay.
It could be good or bad, you know.
Yeah, it's kind of in the middle. Then we had the one I'm really looking forward to, which is Man of Steel.
Man of Steel. You know, I haven't seen extended trailers for this movie before. I've only seen like teaser trailers. When I saw this trailer, I'm like, ooh, they could really take this in an interesting direction. Not exactly in the good way, but there's some crazy ass shit in that trailer.
Well, yeah, it's Superman and it's aliens. What do you expect?
I guess.
No, honestly, what do you expect?
I don't know. Like I've watched, I don't know. Most of the Superman, all that stuff I've watched is like Smallville. I've watched the older movies.
Oh, see, well, Smallville had the budget of a quarter, okay? So
this took it in a whole different, like, futuristic aliens with, like, the big pointy thing.
Oh, yeah, again, I'm like, aliens.
I need to see the movie. I hope it's good, though.
It's like, I think they're taking Superman in a very interesting direction. I have high hopes in this guy. I have watched every trailer they've released for this.
And yeah, it is a very different direction from...
It is a very different direction. I like that. And not to mention, we finally get to see Superman fucking punch something in high definition. Because the last time we saw was at Superman 2 or 4 or whatever. That's where they use strings and cheap props, so it looked like shit.
And I think it said Christopher Nolan is producing
he's producing this, yeah.
So I'm a huge Christopher Nolan
fan. Well, it's also directed by the guy who made 300, so you gotta take the good with the bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd like 300, I like Watchmen, but then he also made that weird Owl movie and Sucker Punch, so...
Yeah, I'm just hoping Christopher Nolan can save this movie. From being...
Well, he just produced it. Keep in mind, he's still directing Dark Knight Rises when this was on work, so it's mostly Zack Snyder. Okay. But either way, there's some interesting ideas in play. Like, it plays much more with Superman being the outsider rather than... and then it looks interesting. It looks like it's running a lot from Superman Birthright, which is one of my favorite Superman stories. So, hopefully it'll be good. I have high hopes. I'm a little disappointed they used Gerald Zod again. I would have much preferred a villain that hasn't been in the screen before. Okay. But, yeah, I'm looking forward to it, so it should be fun.
Yeah.
Either way, I actually have Superman Action, which is a nice change of pace.
And then, okay, yeah.
And then we had the Blaine Rain, which was like a 30-second teaser.
I don't know how I feel about that movie.
I watched another trailer for it. I was kind of like, okay, it's Emma Watson, couldn't be bad. Then I watched another trailer. It's like, I like Emma Watson. She's a good actress, but she looks really fucking annoying in this.
Like the first trailer, the teaser I saw was like, okay, with Emma Watson. I'm like, all right, this could be okay. Then this one reminded me of Spring Breakers, which is probably the worst movie I've seen. One of the worst movies I've seen.
Worst movie for you, 3?
Close.
Wow.
Close.
Wow, that's bad.
It was pretty bad. I mean, the Spring Breakers was pretty bad. It had no story whatsoever. It was the plot was non-existent. But it reminded me of that in that style where they had that stupid music going. And we're partying. Like it was really, I don't know.
Yeah, it's basically about kids stealing from famous celebrities.
I don't know why Emma Watson would do this movie. Honestly,
neither do I.
She's a good actress.
She is a good actress. I watched Perks of Being a Wallflower recently, and she was really good in that.
So I don't know how much they're paying her to be in this movie.
I hope a lot.
I hope it's a lot of money.
Anyway, so then we got one more. I'm having trouble remembering. Oh, it was that weird ass Metallica movie thing.
Oh no! That was actually an advertisement for a Fathom event. So if people don't know, Century Theaters, what they do is they have live feeds of like concerts and things like that, and they also have old movies, and then they also have things like, we're going to show you a 3D Metallica tribute video movie thing.
Oddly enough, I just know I had the main kid from Chronicles in there, so I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, so... Or was that not the Fathom Events one? I don't know, but it was like a 3D Metallica concert thing, and I was like...
kind of weird.
Didn't look that appealing.
Not really. That's about all we had, wasn't it? Or am I forgetting one?
I believe that was it.
Okay, so... Final thoughts?
Final thought, Fast and Furious 6. I thought it was a great movie. It's over the top, action movie, just like, expected. In that sense, I was happy with it.
Okay, fair enough. I enjoyed a lot of it. I think it could have done more. I think it just took itself a little less seriously. I would have enjoyed it more. But
I do want to reiterate. I felt it could have had more actual car racing in this movie.
I think that would have been.
It's Fast and the Furious. Come on. car racing. That's
After
what it's about.
6 of these fucking things, after a certain point, you start running out of races you can possibly really participate in. So anyway.
Anyways.
But yeah, it's okay. It's enjoyable popcorn. I'm not sure I really want to spend ticket money to go see it, but that's up to you really. So I think that's all we got. So take that as you will, and we'll be back.
I would gladly spend ticket money. And it was
I know you will.
It was number one of the box office this weekend.
That doesn't mean it was good.
That means a lot of people were willing to spend their money on this movie.
Yeah, but they also said the same thing for some of the other terrible movies we've seen.
That is true.
So I don't really trust that. Keep in mind, all 3 Transformer movies has made it the top of the box office.
Yeah, Transformers.
So that doesn't mean shit.
I will give you that one. from a car guy, from a person that, likes this series. If you like this series, if you like cars, you will like this movie.
If you don't give a shit about cars, you'll probably feel the same way I felt about this movie. So take that as you will.
We're good.
So take that as you will, and we'll see you guys next later with either Hanover 3 or Epic, and then whatever comes out that weekend. So see you guys later.
Peace.